In section 2, we turn to the perfect form of third hay verbs. In the third hay verbs in the perfect form, you will see the exact same suffix endings that you know quite well already, all the way back from chapter 3. However, because the root ends in hay, and because that hay is then lost, you will see that the cow perfect of a third hay verb, such as bana, will show a significantly different look in parts of the paradigm than the cow perfect you know of katal. So if our original paradigm, the cow perfect of the strong verb katal, is katal, katala, katalta, katalt, katalti, katalu, kutaltim, kutaltin, katalnu, bana will show the same endings across the paradigm, but the root will take different forms. The cow perfect of bana is bana, banata, banita, banit, baniti, banu, banitim, banitin, baninu. This paradigm, the cow perfect of bana, is significantly different, enough so different that it must be memorized as a new memory paradigm. Several things are worth noting about this paradigm. First, in the third masculine singular and feminine singular forms, you see the consonant he. You have bana, and you have, in the third feminine singular form, banata. That said, you want to be aware that in each of these forms, the he that you see is not the he from the root. However, it is a mater marking the long vowel comets in each form. The third root letter, the he of the third he in the root, has disappeared. In this third masculine singular form, it is simply gone. In the third feminine singular form, the he from the root has changed to the tav that precedes the mater, banata. Likewise, in the third common plural form, banu, the he of the root, remember the root form we list in the lexica as bana, the he of the root has disappeared completely. The verb shows only the first two root letters plus the suffix. In all other forms, however, the he of the root has become a hirek yod mater. Consider the second masculine singular form, banita. In this form, you will notice that you have the hirek yod. This yod is the replacement for the he of the root. Further, in both the second masculine singular form and the first common singular form, you will have, because the tav is following a vowel sound, the vowel of the hirek yod, note that it does not have a dagesh. As a bagad kafat letter, when tav follows a vowel sound, there is no dagesh lene. This is what we discussed in chapter 1, section 2. Consider these three examples. First, from 1 Kings 9:10, Asher bana Shlomo et shnei habatim. Bana is a kal perfect third masculine singular from the root beit nun he, bana, to build. Notice that the he of the root, remember, has been lost, and the he that you see in the text is a mater marking the long comets vowel under the nun. So when Asher, Solomon, bana, had built, et, marking the definite direct object, the two houses, shete, the numeral 2 in construct, the houses, he, definite article, plus batim, houses. Second, Numbers 32:37, Uvnei Reuven banu et Heshbon ve'et El-Ale ve'et Kiryatayim. So and Bnei Reuven, the sons of Reuben, construct phrase. Banu, Cal perfect third common plural of bana. Note that again, if the root is bana, when we have the form banu, the hey of the root has disappeared entirely in the third common plural form. And the sons of Reuben built Heshbon, El-Ale, and Kiryatayim. And thirdly, 1 Samuel 2:34, Uvaniti lo bayet ne'eman. Uvaniti is a Cal converted perfect, first common singular of bana. The hey of the root has been replaced by the hirek yod mater. There is no dagesh in the tav because it follows the vowel sound of the mater. And in fact, there is no dagesh in the beit because it follows the vowel sound of the conjunction u. So, and I will build lo plus the suffix, for him, bayet ne'eman, a solid house. All the derived stems in the perfect show the same behavior that you have seen in the Cal already. So if you memorize the Cal perfect of bana, the memory paradigm, and pay attention to the tip-offs for the nifal, pl, pual, hitpael, hifil, and hofal, all the derived stems, you'll be able to parse and figure out the forms without memorizing every paradigm for each of the derived stems. So again, our Cal perfect paradigm, starting in the third masculine singular, is bana, banata, banita, banit, baniti. And then in the plural, banu, binitem, baniten, banitnu. Now in the nifal perfect, you will see the tip off of the nifal, which is the prefix noon with a hirek, and then the same endings. So working again with the form of the root bana, you have nivna, nivnata, nivneta, nivnate, nivneti, nivnu, nivnetim, nivnetin, nivnenu. In each case, you have the noon prefix of a nifal perfect with a hirek vowel, and then the same endings that you're used to from the paradigm, and the behavior of the third hey of the root is again the same. It's replaced by the mater in the third masculine singular. It becomes a tav and then is marked by the mater in the third feminine singular. It becomes a hirek yod in the second and first person forms, disappears in the third common plural, and becomes a hirek yod again in the second and first person forms. The same is true of the perfect. The tip-off for the perfect, remember in the PL, is a doubled second root letter and a hirek under the first root letter. So the PL perfect of gala, a third hey verb, is gila, gilata, gilita, gilit, giliti, gilu, gilitim, giliten, gilinu. Now notice that again, you have a doubling in every form of the second root letter. You have the hirek under the first root letter, and the hey of the third hey has exhibited the exact same behavior. It's been replaced by a mater in the third masculine singular form. It has become a tav in the third feminine singular form. It has become a hirek yod in the second and first person forms. It has disappeared in the third common plural form, and then it has been replaced by the hirek yod mater again in the second and first person forms. The puol shows the same basic behavior, a doubled second root letter, and in the puol, the passive form, the u vowel underneath the first root letter. Gula, gulata, guleta, gulate, guleti, gulu, guletem, guletin, gulenu. Again, all forms show the tip-offs of the puol, the doubled second root letter, and the u vowel. And you have the exact same behavior from your memory paradigm of the third he. Replaced by a mater, becomes a tav, replaced by the hirek yod vowel. Disappears, replaced by the hirek yod vowel. The hit pa'el shows the same behavior in the perfect. The tip-offs, doubled second root letter, and hit prefix. So hit gala, hit galata, hit galita, hit galit, hit galiti, hit galu, hit galitem, hit galitin, hit galinu. You have the tip-offs of the hit pa'el, the doubled letter, and the hit prefix, and the same behavior of the he mater. Replaced, becomes a tav, becomes a hirek yod. Disappears, becomes a hirek yod. You see, in fact, the same in the hifial and the hofal. The tip-off of the hifial is the hi prefix. You have higla, higlata, higlita, higlit, higliti, higlu, higlitem, higlitin, higlinu. You have the hi of the hifial in the perfect, a tip-off, and the same behavior of the third he. In the third masculine singular, it becomes a mater. In the third feminine singular, it becomes a tav, and it's replaced by the hirek yod mater in the second and first person forms. It disappears in the third common plural form and is replaced by a mater in the second and first person forms. And finally, the hofal, hogla, hoglata, hogleta, hoglate, hogleti, hoglu, hogletem, hogletin, hoglenu. Remember, the tip-off is the he with the kametz hatuf, an O sound vowel, and that is consistent through the whole paradigm. And the third he mater, the third he of the root, is replaced by a mater, by the tav, by the hirek yod. Disappears and is replaced by the hirek yod. So if you learn the Cal perfect paradigm of bana well, the memory paradigm, and you remember the tip-offs for all of the derived stems, you should have no trouble recognizing and parsing any third he perfect form. You will have noticed a pattern in the previous chart. The derived stems have the same pattern as the Cal perfect, that the third masculine singular and feminine singular forms have a kametz he mater, a, and the other forms have a mater containing yod. In the passive stems, the nifal, puol, and hofal, that mater containing yod will typically be a sere yod. And the active stems, cal, pl, and hifial, that yod mater will tend to be a hirek yod. Likewise, the hit pa'el will also typically take the hirek yod mater. For 3 examples, consider first Psalm 98:2. Le'enei hagoyim gila sidakato. He has revealed his righteousness in the sight of the nations. Gila is a PL perfect third masculine singular of the root gala, to reveal. Remember, in the third masculine singular, the he that you see is the mater marking the long kametz vowel, not the he of the root. 2 Kings 24:14. Vahigla et kol Yerushalayim, and he carried away all Jerusalem. higla is the hiphil perfect, third masculine singular of gala. Notice the tip off of the he and the comet's he mater. So he carried away. And third, Numbers 9:21, v'na'ala he'anan baboker v'na'sa'u. And when the cloud lifted itself, v'na'ala. So a nifal converted perfect, third masculine singular of the root ayin lamed he, to lift. The tip off of the nifal is the noon prefix. The a vowel, the patak, is due to the fact that the first radical of the root is an ayin, a guttural, which takes a compound schwa. Because of the compound schwa, the prefix vowel becomes the echoing short vowel of the A class. V'na'ala, when it lifted itself. What is the subject? He'anan, the cloud. And when the cloud lifted itself, in boker, morning. Notice that the patak indicates the presence of a definite article, in the morning. Then they set out. As the previous example illustrates, what are called doubly weak verbs are possible. Verbs which have a weakness in more than one root letter. Especially common are first guttural verbs, which are also third he. Given what you know from the previous chapters as well as this, you should be easily able to handle such verbs. They simply show the weaknesses of both consonants, those detailed in chapter 22 and those detailed here. So for instance, the verb haya, whose cal perfect you learned earlier, is haya, hayata, hayita, hayit, hayiti, hayu, heyitim, heyitin, hayinu. Notice that as a first guttural, because hey is a guttural, you have the compound schwa in the second masculine plural and second feminine plural forms. As a third he, you have the typical behavior of a third he verb. The he is replaced by the mater in the third masculine singular form, becomes a tav in the third feminine singular form, and then becomes a hirek yod mater in the second and first person forms. It disappears in the third common plural form and becomes again the hirek yod in the second and first person forms. Consider these three examples. First, Genesis 2:24. V'davak ba'ishto v'hayu levasar echad. So v'davak is a cal converted perfect of the root davak, and he will cleave. Ba ishto, the preposition ba, in this case to. Isha is the noun, woman or wife, and o is the possessive suffix. So, and he will cleave to his wife. V'hayu, this is now a cal converted perfect, third common plural, of haya. In this case, you see the weakness of the third he and that it has disappeared. You simply have hayu. The first he is the first root letter, the yod is the second root letter, and the third root letter has disappeared. And they will be for one flesh, basar echad. Second example from Genesis 17:4, Veriti itak v'hayita la'av hamon goyim. Veriti, my covenant, e is the possessive suffix. The lack of a dagesh here is from the preceding word in the verse. Itak, it with k, the suffix. So this is a verbless clause. My covenant will be with you or is with you. Hayita, cow converted perfect, second masculine singular of haya. As a second person form, notice that you have a hirek yod mater. So the hey is the first root letter, the first yod is the second root letter, and then the second yod is the replacement for the third hey of the root. And you will be av, for the father of many nations, goyim. And a third example, Exodus 11:6. V'hayata se'aka gedolah b'kol eretz Mitzrayim. V'hayata, a cow converted perfect, third feminine singular of haya. And as a third feminine singular form, the hey of the root has been replaced by the tav. And there will be tsa'aka gedolah, a cry, a great one, a great cry, in kol eretz Mitzrayim, a construct phrase, all of the land of Egypt.